Hello, welcome. What's going on YouTube? Espresso Shucko here, and today we are throwing some stuff at the wall to see what sticks before Regulation E ends, and today we are using a Trick Room and Tailwind team. So, I want to see what Enamorus-Therian can do. We got to see a little bit of it in the Baxcalibur video, but we took it out in one turn, so let's try it out. Let's take it for a test drive ourselves. I also want to use a little bit more Ogerpon, so basically what we're going to do here with the team is we're going to either play Trick Room or Tailwind depending on what the situation calls for. So if we're playing in the Trick Room mode, we have Enamorus and Ursaluna to synergize with Cresselia, and if we're playing with Tailwind, we have Moon, Flutter Mane, and Ogerpon to take advantage of that speed boost. This should be a relatively fun team to try out here. We have Calm Mind on the Enamorus. Enamorus has a huge special attack stat, so that is definitely going to benefit it from raising its special attack one stage, and on top of that, it's also going to get a special defense boost, which means Moonblast and Earth Power are going to hit things incredibly hard, and we have Grass Knot here to try to take advantage of some of the heavier ground types in the game. If we run into opposing Ursalunas, we have access to that Grass Knot just to punish them. Now we also have Ogerpon here with the Wellspring Mask form, which means we're going to be running the water type Ivy Cudgel, which is going to do huge amounts of damage to things, and plus we have Horn Leech for some grass type stab, and if we need to use some redirection to get that Trick Room up, we could always go for Follow Me. We have Spiky Shield to round out the set here. This is the same Ogerpon that I used in the Baxcalibur video, and honestly I want to try a little bit more of this form before I switch to a different mask, so we do have that. We have Ursaluna here with Facade, High Horsepower, and Crunch to do some damage, and then that way too we also have the Flame Warp to proc our guts. So if we lead Ursaluna and Cresselia, we can always go Protect while Cresselia sets up the Trick Room, and then we can burn ourselves with our Flame Warp. And the nice thing here too with the Ursaluna burning itself is we don't have to worry about Spore from Amoonguss or Brute Bonnet. And on the off chance that Ursaluna gets status before we can burn ourselves, well, we have Lunar Blessing on Cresselia to not only heal us up, but to also undo our status conditions. So that could be a nice little bit of tech here. We have Moonblast on here in case we run into the odd dark type Urshifu, so we do have that. We also have Terra Fairy on here in case we're going to be taking a Wicked Blow or any other hard-hitting dark type move. So we do have that for a defensive Terra to resist, and plus we also can stab on Moonblast. Cresselia doesn't have the highest special attack, but at least that matches up, which is nice little synergy. And then we have Roaring Moon here with Terra, Flying, Acrobatics, and Tailwind. So the nice thing here is we go for that booster energy, we get a speed boost. We now have a strong, fast, stab-hitting Acrobatics at our disposal, and we also have Knockoff to remove any pesky items from our opponent that we might not want to deal with. And then we also have Flutter Mane with some Icy Wind support, but the main thing here is Flutter Mane is going to go hard with Shadow Ball and Moonblast, and we're running Terra Water on this Flutter Mane in case we run into some Golden Go, and then that way that should make the matchup a little bit better, so we don't have to worry about being super weak to Make It Rain or weak to Shadow Ball. We can go Terra Water, we become neutral to Ghost, and then we also become resistant to Steel, so that could be relatively handy at the end of the day. That said, I've talked more than enough. Let's jump into some battles. Alright, our opponent here has... Oh, this is a sign I need glasses. I'm pretty sure that's Landorus up top. It's very small. Landorus, Tornadus, Golden Go, Rillaboom, Urshifu, and Hisuian Arcanine. Alright, so what do we want to do? Well, we don't want to die in front of Golden Go, so that might be something to keep in mind. Roaring Moon could be relatively nice with the Terra Flying Acrobatics for Rillaboom, but we've got to be a little bit careful of the Arcanine. That said, Ogerpon Trick Room might not be a bad lead. If we go Follow Me and Trick Room, we could potentially do that. So maybe we'll go Cresselia, Ogerpon, bring Ursaluna in the back, and then... do I want to do that? I'm not sure if I want to do that now. Let's see. Enamorus might be fun too. Ogerpon Roaring Moon might be okay because we would be able to get the Tailwind off right quick. Yeah, maybe we'll go Tailwind instead. Bring Flutter in the back. And then, I mean, worst case scenario, we could still bring Enamorus. Yeah, because Enamorus could be okay in the back. I mean, The nice thing here is Enamorus is relatively bulky at the end of the day, so if we get a Calm Mind off, we can live the special attacks. I have some good HP investment into this thing, as well as some good defense investment. And the fact that we're also running Calm Mind doesn't mean we need to go for exactly max special attacks, so we could potentially take advantage of that. So it's Hisuian Arcanine and Tornadus. So Roaring Moon is probably not going to want to Terrasilize in front of this Arcanine, but we do probably want to get our Tailwind off, potentially. Knockoff could be relatively nice too. I do like the idea of going for the Cudgel into the Arcanine. Unless they Terrasilize away from Rock Fire, they're going to be 4 times weak to the Ivy Cudgel, so we could potentially do that. Spiky Shield might not be bad. We could, I think what we'll do is we'll go Spiky Shield, Tailwind, and then that way, if they go into the Ogerpon, great, and if they don't, well, at least we're not too worried that way. The Tailwind off of the Roaring Moon is going to be really important to land, so that now we don't have to worry about Arcanine outspeeding without going for priority. So the nice thing too is because we didn't go Terra Flying, we're not going to take super effective damage. This is still probably going to hurt, but oh yeah, that hurt a lot, but at least Roaring Moon can do a lot of damage if we need it to. So we'll go for the Cudgel into the Arcanine, and we'll go for the knockoff into the Tornadus, and then that way, whatever item it has, we can just remove that. So, goodbye, Rocky Helmet. Ogerpon, are you going to be okay? Oh yeah, you're going to be okay. Goodbye, Arcanine. Get him with that Cudgel. The nice thing here, too, is if we can get rid of Tornadus, we can just remove their Tailwind, which would be important. Ogerpon dodged the Bleak Wind. That's what we needed it to do. Unfortunately, we do lose Roaring Moon from that, but we have Tailwind. We know Ogerpon is faster than the Tornadus. We could go for the Icy Wind with Flutter Mane, or we could potentially go for a Moonblast, depending on what the next Pokemon comes in. If it's Urshifu, I'd love to try to get rid of that. And we lucked out so far and dodged one Bleak Wind Storm with the Ogerpon. So let's try and keep that track record going. It's Rillaboom, so we do have to worry about Grassy Glide. Now, one nice thing about this Flutter Mane is it is Focus Sash, so we do have a little bit of insurance that way. Follow Me would at least remove or pull away a Grassy Glide into my Flutter Mane, but I kind of like the idea of bringing in an Enamorus to reset that Intimidate drop. But I am going to go for the Icy Wind and see if we can try to do some good damage to the Tornadus. And plus, that way, it's a spread move option, so we could slow down the opponent should their Tailwind wear off and they're still out here. They try to fake out my Flutter Mane. Okay. We'll take that. We will take that. That's one less thing for Enamorus to worry about. Oh, who's dodging? Oh, Enamorus dodged the Bleak Wind. Okay. So that did break my sash, but that's alright. What we could do here is we could go for the Calm Mind. And I think we protect the Flutter Mane, because if they go for the Grassy Glide and Flutter Mane, that's it for Flutter Mane. Flutter Mane's gone. So I think what we'll do here is we'll go for the Calm Mind, get a special defense boost into Enamorus, and then we'll try to outlive them that way. The nice thing here too is we do resist both grass and, well, we don't resist flying, but we do resist grass type stab off Rillaboom, so Enamorus does have that going for it. They do have the Rain Dance too, so we do have to watch for the Bleak Wind now, but what I would like to ideally do is Terrasilize Ogerpon, and then that way I'm not weak to Bleak Wind Storm. So that could be handy. And plus, our Tailwinds are now gone, so they can just reset their Tailwind. I think we Moonblast into the Tornadus. I think Flutter Mane is going down this turn, but if it doesn't, we'll go for the Shadow Ball into the Rillaboom. Because the other thing that we can do too, which would be nice, is if we can get rid of Tornadus, that means Rillaboom can't switch out, which unfortunately now it can. Which means we don't have to worry about the grassy terrain. Now, if we get rid of this Tornadus and Rillaboom comes in while the grassy terrain is gone, perfect. Now, slight problem. Urshifu's got the water. The water going for it. I wish I had doubled into the Rillaboom slot now that I know this, but Enamorus can scare that Urshifu with the Moonblast, which is great. Now, we can't protect Flutter Mane, but what we could do too is we could use Ogerpon's Ivy Cudgel. Or no, we can't do that. That'd be really bad. But this means we might want to play to the Enamorus endgame instead of the Ogerpon now. So they do have the Tailwind, so I do have to be careful that way. They also have Fake Out, but I mean, Enamorus is going to get Faked Out regardless. So I think what we'll do here is we'll double into the Urshifu slot. They're probably going to Fake Out the Enamorus. Here comes the Terra Water as well. This is going to hurt, but not the... Ooh. I do have the Water Absorb, so what I could do too is I could always redirect that with Ogerpon. That might not be a terrible thing. Yeah, there's the Fake Out. I just need them to get rid of Flutter Mane. I need them to keep Enamorus alive. Yeah, I'll take that. So, Ogerpon can redirect away Surging Strikes, which is going to be nice. So, what we could do here, we could potentially go Terra Fairy for the extra damage on the Moonblast. The other thing, too, is Ogerpon's Hornleech should do major damage to the Urshifu as well. So, we could do that. Yeah, we could do that. We're going to Moonblast into the Rillaboom, and I think we're going to Hornleech. Because I feel like my opponent's probably going to expect the... Follow me. This is into an Enamorus, so let's find out if I can live this. It does. Oh, the Citrus Berry might keep us alive, actually. Let's see. Oh, I don't think so. No. Enamorus tried. She did her best. But at least we have Ogerpon. Goodbye, Urshifu. Hornleech is going to be nice. And the other thing, too, the rain is going to last longer than that, so we do have the boosted damage off the Cudgel. So there is that. Yeah. Okay. What we're going to do here is we're going to go for the Spiky Shield so that we can get a little bit of chip damage into them off of physical attack. And then from there, we're going to pick a god and pray. Yeah. We also need the stall of their Tailwind. Alright, so they do take a little bit of damage. Oh, the rain does stop this turn too. Their Tailwind is gone now, though. That's nice. We're going to go for the Hornleech. Get a little bit of HP back from Rillaboom. Because the other thing is as soon as I pop the Terra button, I become weak to Grassy Glide. So, I think we're going to shield again. Whittle them down this way. Which this is a nice little 1v1 between Ogerpon and Rillaboom. I do find it a little weird that they're going for the Grassy Glide, but I mean, I'll take it. We'll get off another Hornleech into the Rillaboom. Get a little bit of more HP back. And then when we know it's safe to go for the Cudgel, we'll go for the Cudgel. Which we're going to Spiky Shield, which my opponent should see this coming by now. But if they don't. I don't know what to say about that. But yeah, anyways. The nice thing here is we are faster than them. So we're just gonna keep wailing on them with the spikes. This is the definition of why you're hitting yourself. Ogerpon's just there. Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? Okay, and because we can. It's cudgel time. It is cudgel time. And that should be more than enough damage. This might be maximum overkill, but we're gonna do it. I should have gone for the Follow Me off the Surging Strikes to keep Enamorus safe, but at the end of the day, Ogerpon's faster than Rillaboom. The Grassy Terrain is gone. This should be more than enough with Adaptability level Stab. Yeah. Ogerpon. I mean, the nice thing here, too, is although they were whittling me down, the nice thing, too, is the Ivy Cudgel just has that so much raw damage. And the Spiky Shield was doing a good amount of damage, too, with the chip. So, anyways, I'm pretty happy about how that turned out. Good game to my opponent. Alright, so our opponent here has Alolan Ninetales, Roaring Moon, Flutter Mane, Landorus, Iron Hands, and Heatran. So, we're going to have to worry about Aurora Veil. That will make my opponent very bulky. The nice thing here, though, too, is my opponent does have a lot of speed going for them. They have the Roaring Moon, they have the Flutter Mane. The Iron Hands will be annoying under Trick Room. And depending on what their Heatran has, that will be a problem, too. But this definitely does not look terrible for a Trick Room situation. Now, I kind of do wish I had Psychic Terrain to prevent Fake Out, but it is what it is. Like I said, we're just throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks. But what we can maybe do here is we can maybe go Enamorus and Ogerpon for the fall. Or maybe we'll go Cresselia. Maybe we'll go Cresselia and Ogerpon. We'll bring... Yeah, I can't talk today. We'll maybe bring Ursaluna. No, I don't know if I want to do that. I kind of want to go the Tailwind route, but we'll see. We'll go the Trick Room route and see what we can do. The nice thing here too is if they terrestrialize their Roaring Moon, it's a little bit of a moot point. But if they don't terrestrialize Roaring Moon, Enamorus' Moonblast is going to do major damage. And the nice thing here too is the way how this Enamorus is EV'd, it should two-shot an Assault Vest Iron Hands with max bulk investment into the HP and special defense. So we should be okay there. So it's Flutter Mane Iron Hands. Alright. So Ogerpon might not be too bad here. Because what we could do is... The question is do they... Well, what we do here is we protect and Spiky Shield. That's what we do here. And that's how you get away. That's how you get around Fake Outs without your Psychic Terrain. But no. On a serious note, what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to Follow Me and Trick Room. They're going to go Terra onto the Flutter Mane. It's Terra Fairy Flutter Mane, so that should be okay at the end of the day. I could go Terra on my Ogerpon to get the special defense boost. And then I could go for the Cudgel into the Flutter Mane, which wouldn't be bad. And the other thing too is I could go for the Cudgel into Flutter Mane and then have Lunar Blessing as well. Also, Iron Hands is going to take a little bit of damage. We love that. We love to see that. Okay, so we're going to go for the Trick Room. That Iron Hands is going to be a problem, though. So maybe what we'll do here is we'll go Trick Room and Cudgel into the hands. Because the nice thing, too, is although they could potentially have the Assault Vest, Iron Hands, if it doesn't have the defense investment, is not going to appreciate this. So we do have that, and plus, once Trick Room goes up, we do have Enamorus. Now, one slight problem with this Enamorus, it is not a zero speed IV Enamorus, so that could be a problem. But we'll see how this goes. I should be able to take this no problem thanks to the special defense boost. That's disgusting. But let's get that cudgel off. Let's go. Ooh, okay. Not what I wanted to see there. Definitely not what I wanted to see there, but that's alright. We can get an Enamorus in now. We have the Cresselia still. We have the ability to go for the Moonblast into the Iron Hands. They might switch out Iron Hands now that an Enamorus is coming in, but not the end of the world. We do have our Trick Room, so there is that. There was no point in going for the Follow Me because, I mean, Iron Hands already went into Ogerpon, and the Dazzling Gleam gets around that anyways. But at least now we have the Lunar Blessing to heal up Cresselia, because that did hurt quite a bit. We'll go for our own raw Moonblast, and then that way, if we get rid of Iron Hands, perfect. We can safely go for Calm Minds after the fact. And we'll get a little bit of HP back into Cresselia now. So we do have that. Silver lining, too, to Flutter Mane being Terra Fairy is I can Facade them with Ursaluna now. So that is a thing as well. Enamorus is going to get our Citrus Berry back. We should probably go for the Calm Mind, maybe a Lunar Blessing as well. Get that special defense boost up, because Flutter Mane is going to be a problem. But let's see. Ice coverage on Cresselia would have been nice for the Landorus, but that's alright. Now, a Rock Slide could be problematic. That is true. A Rock Slide could be problematic, but you know what? We're gonna go for the Raw Moonblast right into the Landorus. That's good damage. I like that. What's my plan though if they Rock Slide Dazzling Gleam me and get a double? Hope Ursaluna can handle. Yeah. Because, oh, it's big damage. Okay, they didn't go for the Rock Slide. That's okay. We get to find out who comes in. Ursaluna's not going to appreciate an Intimidate, but we get to find out who their last Pokemon is. So, that is one nice thing. We got to get rid of that Flutter Mane, though. Oh, it's Heatran. Okay. Great. Wish I had Earthquake on my Ursaluna, but I have high horsepower because I was a little bit worried in case I was playing with Enamorus in the Terra and losing my Terra Flying. So that was one thing I was a little bit worried about. But we could high horsepower into the... High horsepower into the Flutter Mane might not be too bad. I want to double into that thing because I feel like Heatran's going to go for Protect here, so that's exactly what we're going to do. And who knows, they might just bring... yeah, there's the Protect. Okay. They didn't switch in Landorus, so that is a nice thing to see. So, we do connect our high horsepower. We get our Moonblast. So, that's a good start. Flutter Mane's gone. We call the Protect nicely. Now, we're going to get our Burn this turn, so that's going to cancel out the Intimidate drop. But I am going to start taking a little bit of chip damage. Now, one nice thing, too, is we don't have to worry about Heatran being able to pop a Terra Grass, which means if I were them, I'd be very, very concerned about high horsepower, which means they're probably going to try to get rid of Ursaluna. Now, we have one more turn to Trick Room, so we're going to go high horsepower into Heatran, and we're going to go Moonblast into the Lando. Oh, I could have also gone Earth Power into the Heatran. Whoops. But anyways, because I could have gone Facade into the Landorus, and then Earth Power would have just been more accurate. But we're going to get rid of Lando. That's the big thing. We get rid of Lando. Now we just need to land a high horsepower. Yeah, I'll take that. We do have the Earth Power as well. Now, here's where it gets spooky. If they go for a Heat Wave, I don't know if Ursaluna is bulky enough to live this. I don't know if it... Well, I know Enamorus will not live this. I don't know why they went Protect because Trick Room wore off there. They could have easily picked up either one of these two. Maybe they want to wait for a little bit of chip damage into my Ursaluna like I did in that last game, but we'll see how that goes. So, let's try to get rid of Heatran here. And plus, they now know I have the Earth Power on the Enamorus. So, we might be okay. So, we'll go for that. There's the Flash Cannon. Heatran just needs to take this high horsepower and hopefully not have a Shuckle Berry. Critical hit's not going to matter on the Enamorus. Enamorus only had 40 HP. Now, come on, Ursaluna. Let's go. Yeah! Woot woot! Ursaluna, Mauling Moon. My first ever battle with it, and it did not let me down. Thank you, Ursaluna. Anyways, good game to my opponent. Hey, thank you guys so much for checking out this video. We had 2 quick matches, relatively speaking. Enamorus got to bring its B+ game because I could have handled that a little bit better. But Enamorus came to both games and performed relatively well in my opinion. We got to pull off Calm Mind in the first match here, and we got to apply some heavy pressure to my opponent. Now, I probably should have went for the Follow Me with the Ogerpon like I mentioned to avoid the Surging Strikes, but there's not much you can really do to live against Surging Strikes in the rain coming off Terra Water Urshifu. So the fact that Enamorus went down, I'm not holding it against it. I might need to tweak the defense EVs a little bit, but at the end of the day, Enamorus did put some good pressure into my opponent, and its Moonblast just hit like an absolute truck. And speaking of Moonblast, Enamorus just got to prove that, like me, it's got a simple I see, I hit, and that's what I did. I clicked Moonblast a lot. One thing that I probably could have handled a little bit better in that second game, though, like I said, was if I went for the Earth Power into the Heatran with my Enamorus, and then went Facade into the Landorus on that last turn in Trick Room. That might have been a little bit better because we could have missed, or, you know, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened. We did. Yeah. It's hard to believe that I filmed that match like less than 5 minutes ago and I've already forgotten it. But that said, all things considered, I enjoyed the team here. It does need a little bit of tweaking, but hey, Ogerpon is fun. Enamorus-Therian is fun. I do want to try Enamorus Incarnate at some point with a contrary set. I've been tweaking around with that, and honestly, when I came when I sat down to play and build the team, I was strongly debating on bringing in my contrary Enamorus. So there are some ideas in the back burner for that, or rather on the back burner. You don't want to be in the back burner because things are going to be getting hot. But anyways, I've rambled far too much. Anyways, we got to play Trick Room and Tailwind in each of our matches here. We got to play Trick Room in Game 2. We got to play Tailwind in Game 1. It was basically a Tailwind war in Game 1, where we basically just canceled out each other's Tailwind, but then, thankfully, it boiled down to who's faster between Ogerpon and Rillaboom, and luckily that is Ogerpon for me. But, yeah. And then as far as Game 2 went, my opponent had to live... they did survive 5 turns in Trick Room, but they did not survive that first turn out of Trick Room. Or rather, the second turn, because we won a turn without sending Trick Room. But anyways, you guys get the idea. Let me know what you think of the team down in the comments below, and I will see you next time.